I know you must have gotten many results on, how I got a remote job. You see many videos like how I got a remote job in UK from Nigeria and all of that. And you've tried everything these people said, and you still don't seem to have gotten any success. You've gone on LinkedIn, you've started creating content on LinkedIn. No employer has approached you. You have been doing everything. You've gone on all the job boards. You are looking for hidden websites to find remote job every day, but you've not actually gotten any results. This video is for you. So the number one thing, I know that we are already used to this thing, is Nigerians are scammers. Like this, this alone puts like is very disadvantageous. This alone is already a disadvantage. The fact that the whole Yahoo boy thingy and scam is already associated with Nigeria. And the funny thing is that it's not even only Nigerians that have been affected with this thing. It's only Nigerians that they've stained their white, like digital people with digital skills that are being affected by this negative stereotype. It also affects people from other countries because somehow these people abroad just think that every black person is from Nigeria. And I really feel sorry for people from Morocco, Zimbabwe, Cote d'Ivoire, all those other African countries that are not really like as bad as Nigerians and they have to suffer all of this. So this is already like a scare. They don't want to work with someone that has the potential to scam them. So that one is there. That's like the most common reasons why they won't want to work with in Nigeria. But that kind of affects everybody. So you might not have to prove yourself more for them to take that risk. And that's why most of them will always go to freelance marketplaces like Upwork and Fiverr, freelancer and all of that, so that they are sure that there are measures in place so that they don't have to deal with your scamming attitude, all of that. So that's all general. So let's go to some other reasons. So reason number two is like these are real responses from real like UK, US people. These are some of the reasons that they gave. So reason number two is they said Africa is largely seen as corrupt, impoverished, and that is scary. When you are working with someone that like you feel like hasn't eaten, like they need this job just because they need to feed the next moment, it kind of brings a scare because that that will mean that might not do the job well because they are just looking at the money, they're just looking at what they are going to get. And I actually do not blame these people for thinking this way seriously, because when you many people like speak to me like, oh, you work from home, oh, I also want a remote job and all of that. And when you ask them why do you want to work remotely, I understand the economic factor. I understand everybody wants to earn in dollar. I understand, but they're just like, oh, if I am earning $1,000, $2,000, oh, see the exchange rate. Like I believe that if you are just looking at the salary you're going to get at the end, like you just see a job and you are only concerned about, oh, they're paying $2,000, you quickly convert it into naira. That's the first thing you do. I think you are not going to focus on the job and how you can actually add value and provide exceptional service to that client. So you're already only looking at the money you get, and that might affect your attitude towards that job, and might just see it as another gig, and that's not nice. So I just feel like there's a point there. You don't want to work with someone that is hungry. So that's that. So let's move to point number three. Africans are not offering differentiated services. Oh God. Like when I read this, like it changed my mind. Like it pushed me to re-strategize. And I'm going to just be sharing everything I'm learning on this journey, this freelancing, remote jobs, and all of these things I'm working remotely to make money. Everything I learn, I'm going to be sharing. But this stood out for me. Like this stood out for me. So let me give you the exact scenario that this person played out. This person said that if Africans niche down, I'll be at least be able to refer someone on. Here is a pitch that I would listen to. So for example, the person said that we specialize in helping ADHD salespeople in time zones between GMT plus 6 and GMT plus 12. At the end of their day, we'll call them up, ask them what they did today, and record everything into Salesforce for them. If you're a CEO if you as a CEO are struggling to get your salespeople to keep proper record, this is something we can solve. And if you aren't, thank you for your time, and please consider referring us to someone who you know would benefit. Compared to what a typical African will send, that is a pitch from maybe someone else abroad. And a typical African will say, we can supply programmers, accountants, bookkeepers, and virtual assistants at USD to like $2 per hour, which just screams race to the bottom minimum skill. Like, this is, I don't know if you understand what I read, but the bottom line is like one thing that might be stopping you from getting a remote job is niching. Like, I cannot overemphasize the the benefits of niching. Like, I'm going to even give my own example. When I started out, like, okay, there was one day, if my husband actually told me that I should why not create a Fiverr account. And I was like, "Ah." So when I created the account, I was like, I wasn't getting any response, like nobody was buying my orders and all of that. So my husband was like, okay, what did you do? So I just put like writing, blah blah blah. And there are so many writers. There's so many writers on Fiverr. Like, they're already like at the peak of their freelance career on Fiverr there. So I wouldn't even stand a chance at all. I don't have reviews and all of that. I wouldn't stand a chance. So my husband asked me to, like, okay, what about niching? Like, okay, what do you like to do? So that was how I niched to, natural hair content writer, because I love natural hair. I like to learn, research about natural hair, do things about natural hair and all of that. After I created this gig, I niched. I started getting people place order, because we are like only 2 3 people in that niche that I saw that already had gigs on natural hair content, right? But now there are more people in that niche, and that was it. So niching will help you, like, will help you a lot, like, especially when you are like pitching, especially if you are going to be working like cold emailing, or if you are going to be working on a platform like Upwork. Like, you cannot not niche if you are trying to like get clients directly. Because, okay, just imagine you're sending a cold email and you're like, oh, hi, I'm this, blah blah blah. I saw that your website, blah blah, you don't have a blog section. For instance, you're a writer, or I offer these services and I'm an SEO writer. I can write, so you send your portfolio, sample, 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 sample. Like, there are a million and one SEO content writers. And the fact that you are an African also, like, it all already like make puts you from Nigeria, puts you in more or less like a disadvantaged position. So you don't even want to go that route. You don't want to go that route. So what you want to do is look for a niche. Look for a niche and only target those people in that niche. Like, when you niche, the competition is already slimmer. So if you say content writing, there are a lot of people that are like in the digital skill. I think writing is like you have more people in writing because everybody feel like they can write. That's just the way it is. Like, everybody can write. That's how they feel. But when it now comes to like very good writer, like the 1% of the 1%, now you now notice that there are actually few people that really really understand SEO, and all of this stuff, and really really write exceptionally well. So to like differentiate yourself, make sure you are know the audience that you are going to serve, know the audience that you are going to serve, know the people that you're writing for. Stop doing generalist content writing. If you love jewelry, come, I am a fashion writer, I am a jewelry writer. And funny enough, you think that, oh, it's just too small. You see that there are people, there are brands, there are companies, organizations that are looking for this kind of people that are producing jewelry, that sell jewelry, they're looking for you. So instead of, just imagine now, I sell jewelry, and you come as, oh, I'm a jewelry writer, I can help you get visibility, I know source, blah 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 blah. You can talk about, diamond stones, you understand all of those things, and someone just comes and sends a pitch and say, oh, I'm a writer, I see a writer. You will get, like, you are more advantageous because you know what you're doing, you have expertise, industry expertise, you understand how everything works, you can communicate to their audience better because you have proven to have authority. And that is what Google is pushing. With the whole rise of AI, people want to connect with human beings that actually know what they're doing, that actually experience what they're experiencing, that have experienced their pain, and can actually connect with their problems, that can provide solutions since they've been through that part before. So if you've not been niching, this can be the reason why you've not gotten a remote job. Niche. And when you niche, everybody's not going to be your clients. Your clients are going to be, in a smaller sector, and the competition, you're going to be stripping the competition by like 50%. So just imagine, this is not me formulating it, I'm just like analyzing what this person said, but this is so true, so true. You want to like get every gig. I know it's tempting to, like, I've done that for, like, you want to write, like, I've written for different niches, except you're going to be working like in an agency setting. But if you are going to build your career as an independent contractor, an independent writer, you want to build a brand around this your writing business, you have to look for a niche, because 2020, 2025, there are more people, Gen Z, there are more people coming into this space. Everybody wants to come to the online space, into the remote work, freelancing space. So establishing authority, industry authority is what will set you apart, even when it comes to getting a remote job. So that is it. I hope you found this useful. So let me take on another one. So this is another response, like why people abroad do not like to employ Nigerians or work with people in Africa. Time zone is a problem, is a problem. And I've actually known this, like, when you're working with a client in the US, it's a struggle. Like, this is the reason why companies in the US do not, that's why you see remote in US most time, you're like, but I can understand, because when you talk about a remote job, like if it's in a structured organization that is like 9 to 5 kind of setting, you do not want to employ someone that is not going to be around for meetings. They might have some kind of team meeting, like briefing in the mornings before you continue with your tasks, or weekly briefings, and you're not going to be a part of all of that. You're not going to be a contributing member of the team. It can be a struggle. So I would, when you, I think you have to consider time zone. Like, and I'll tell people, like, I don't usually chase after US clients. I know that US like has the biggest buying power, largest market when it comes to economic power. They have the highest power. But I do not chase US clients or Canadian clients because of the time zone. I rather work with UK clients or some clients in the EU, because we have the same time zones. And even when I got a remote job, I factored this in. I wasn't really looking for a company in US, in Canada, someone like the time zone is just like you will not be able to cope. So I'll look for search for openings in companies that have similar time zones to what we have in Nigeria, or it's like an hour different. So like if it's 8 o'clock here, it's like 9 o'clock there. So like it's not so much. So I think you should always factor that in. So I factor that, and that we kind of limits, like put your search in a frame. You know what you're doing. You're not going after every job, because sometimes we are emotion. Like, we are humans and we have emotions. Like when you just keep applying for jobs, like US, any job, you're just applying for any job anyway. As you just keep applying and you're not getting feedback, it can start to affect you emotionally and mentally. So mental health. So you have to position yourself for jobs that you think that you have a higher chance of getting. So there's no, don't waste your time like applying for remote jobs in the US. See, the truth is, if you get it, you will be stressed. That time zone is a factor, and I believe that you should consider that when also, and employers consider this. So if they rather work with someone in the Filipino, I think they have kind of the same time zones. People in the US love to hire freelancers and remote workers from the Filipino, because they speak like American English, and then the time zone is not so much of a problem. So these are the reasons why. This is just to help you put things in frame. So another reason, I hope we can, I don't want this video to be so long. If you cannot finish it, I'll have a part two where I will continue talking about this. So another thing we're going to be talking about is cultural difference. I know you may not have thought about this, but this is a big deal. And I was surprised, I was shocked to find out that they actually find it a big problem. Like, I used to tell people, like, especially if you're in the writing niche, and if not just writing, like communication too is a big deal. If you are going to be working with clients in the US, in the UK, in Canada, you have to understand their culture. I don't mean that you have to travel there, you have to, you have gone there for you to understand their culture. It just makes sense for you to understand how they think, how they construct their sentences, what makes sense to them. And one way you can do this is by watching their movies. Watch their movies, watch their YouTube channels. Like go on YouTube, follow some of them, follow them on X. They actually like to share their thoughts, so you can understand the market. You can understand what is going on. You can understand their pain points. One mistake you don't want to make as a writer, if you are right, or whatever service you are delivering, is not understanding your audience. And writing, you have to is you can't do away with it when you are writing, because you have to speak the language that the people can understand. So if you want a client from US to hire you as a writer, or to buy your writing services, you have to sound like them, because these brands are not looking to sell to people in Africa. They are not looking to sell to people in Nigeria. That is not their market. So you want to address their market. You want to talk like the way they talk. You want to use, you know, words. You want to make the kind of jokes that they make, so that it feels like it's one of them that wrote it. So it feels like it's talking to them. Imagine, like, I see, like, for instance, you see like a lot of newsletters in from Nigerian brands, and some kind of pidgin English, like just to give a context to the thing, and you can feel like, okay, I'm actually having a conversation with someone like my brother, and I can understand this person. But if you're a writer and you want to work with a US brand, and your English might be good, grammar, syntax, all of that might be very good, but you do not sound like someone in the US. You do not, you know how they talk, like they're like even their constructions kind of. So this will help, like that cultural difference, like is a thing. Let me even read what this person said directly, so that you can see the context in which I'm coming from. See, it just said the knowledge of Western culture and work ethic was totally missing. My clients expect speed and diligence. Had nothing to do with racism. It just added hours to my day trying to teach against cultural differences. Hiring someone in house or from another Western country was just more helpful. And another thing, apart from like writing, if you're a writer, is also the way we behave. The way we behave. I can't say for all of Africa, but I can say for Nigerians. Like the way some Nigerians behave, like is not good at all. It's not about your skill. You might be very great at your skill, but what about your work ethics? It is a lot. Like you have to communicate. Like if you want, there's a way you have to be polite. Or the way you end a conversation. Oh, great, nice job. Can you check it out? Oh, but when you do not, I think a lot of Nigerians are not used to communicating. Like I work with a lot of Nigerians too. When I have some more jobs than I can handle, I work with Nigerians, and it's like 1% of the 1% that actually have good work ethics. Like you do not ask questions. These people, you are used to asking questions. They're used to reason. Like someone from the US, someone from the UK, someone from Canada, even people from China. Like for instance, they will always want to understand, okay, are we good? Are we on the same page? You have to communicate. You have to communicate. And if you say you want to do this thing, you give the reasons. They are very open people. They are very honest. Well, Nigerians, we're kind of used to like holding back. We want to keep secrets. Well, I want to be the only one that knows this thing. Oh, but they are very open. And if for some reason you cannot meet up to the deadline, you give a heads up. Like there are just some work ethics that we do not have in Nigeria, some openness we do not have and you might not know it. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. You don't know that you are doing this. Like communication is a big thing, because they already have the time zone difference to deal with, and then you are not forthcoming on WhatsApp. Then you are turning on red receipts and all of this stuff. These are the things you have to fix. You have to be honest. You have to, oh, sorry, I can't do this thing today. And you have to be honest. You have to work with time. You have to be fast. You understand? So these are some of the things that stop these people from actually hiring people from Nigeria, from Africa. I think this video is already over 20 minutes. So I think I'll have do a part two of this video. So let me just take one more um or two more reasons. Another reason is there are options. The truth is that there are options, and this is why I always look at the part of niching. Like that is something that you do not want to miss at all. Like niching is important. Like it strips down the competition from like 100 to like 30%, and you can see all of that. So that is it. The thing is that when you talk about getting clients or remote work from US, from UK, there are options. These people, you know, they have options. There are Indian people that are ready to do the same task, that to do the same job for far lower amount, with a better work ethics, with a better time zone, with already reviews, trusted character, and all of that. And like the Filipinos to work really great. Like the freelance remote landscape there is like growing. And from research and from what I've seen, people in the US, people in the UK prefer to work with Filipinos like more than Africans. First, the time zone, and they also speak very impeccable English grammar, and the accent is like very close to American English. So you can see while there are options. So if you want to play with this in this field, you want to play in this remote freelance marketplace, you must up your game. You can't be mediocre. Like this niche, this place is for, let me not say 1% of the 1%, for like the 10% of the 10%, something like that. Like you have to be exceptional for you to thrive. You have to be excellent for you to thrive in the whole remote freelance landscape. Like that is how you're, because there are options. They have India people are there, Filipino, even the whole Eastern Europe, they are there. So there are options. So working with Africa, you already have this scam thing. Like there are a lot of disadvantages. And when you finally get an opportunity, you do not want to mess it up. You don't want to mess it up at all. So that is one of the reasons. There are options. Then another reason, like this one was just so funny, is they said that we speak broken English, but we are not aware of it. That's like I used to say. You cannot not want to work for US companies, UK companies, Canadian companies, companies in, in the Europe, and be speaking your Nigerian English. I'm not saying Nigerian English. There's nothing wrong with Nigerian English, but there are some, the way you arrange your sentences that are very Nigerian, and we know work. Like this one said, was responding because it was like a thread. This one said that you might not be aware of this, but you are speaking in broken English. When you think that you are so good, like you are so eloquent, and someone is like, you're speaking in broken English, and you don't know this. This is not about racism. This is just about how it sounds. Like I remember I watched a movie, and I think it was produced by a white person, but it was a movie about Africa. So there was a character in that movie that was in Nigerian, but I could tell that this person wasn't Nigerian because of how the person constructed their grammar and the kind of slang they use and the accent. This person was more like maybe someone from Zimbabwe, from Kenya. The accent was off, the pidgin English was off. I could tell. So the way I could tell that this person is not Nigerian, the attitude was off, and also Nigerians are lousy and overdo kind of. You know how we are. But I could just know that this person wasn't Nigerian. So that's the same way they can sense it. So especially if you're in the writing niche, because you already have to deal with native English speakers and all of that. So you make sure that your grammar is good. Stop using slang. Stop using contracted forms when no, or abbreviated forms when even when you're having casual conversations with people. Just stop speaking pidgin. Like stop all those things so that you can improve your grammar. You wouldn't know that these things are affecting your grammar, and then stop watching. Reduce how you consume Nigerian content, and except the ones that are going to be very useful to you, like the one you're watching now. But just reduce how you consume Nigerian content, because those things, those elements, all of those elements right there will be affecting you, and you will not be aware that they're affecting. The influence, like I said, if you're in this space, watch American movies, listen to American podcasters, will follow American people on YouTube, like everything. That way you'll be taking in their culture, and before you know it, you just blend seamlessly. I feel like this video is already very long, but we will do a part 2 of this video, and I tell you that some of the things I learned from these tips, I'm implementing all of them, and I can see results. And I will also be walking you through the results that I have seen implementing some of all these things in my freelancing journey, my remote journey, and every success I make whatever works, what doesn't work, I'll still come here to update you. So this is just like a diary. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you give me a like and also give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to this channel. This is a very new channel. If you don't subscribe, you won't know when I upload another video. And I'm just your sister, your friend in the remote freelance space, and I hope to share the truth and nothing but the truth on this journey. And I hope that you find my videos really, really helpful. So thank you for watching till I come your way again for the part 2. So watch out.